Internet, your friendly neighborhood gremlin here, and today we're going to do the Snow White exterior build on the island. The sort of first minute of this is just the progress that we made on Wednesday, just because people really didn't see that video, and I thought having the whole exterior in one video might be helpful for people. So this is us doing the sort of like item section of the build, I guess. I don't know, the furniture section, where we place all the items, even though the house isn't there yet. It comes together really quickly because I already had a plan of what I wanted it to look like. So this is the easy part, mostly. Trying to get the trees to sit in exactly the right spot can be a little fidgety, but we're going to move most of those trees anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. So most of the items are really sort of relevant to the Seven Dwarfs house, I suppose. I mean, the bird is just because I thought like canary in a coal mine, but they're not in a coal mine, and I don't know that jewel mines need canaries. Maybe it's just their pet or something. It ends up being like a really low item count build because I wasn't really like sure what they'd have outside their house. So we've just got like a clothesline and then all 6 dwarves, or gnomes I guess. I don't know, only 6 of them were the appropriate colors. And here we are on today, where it is darker, even though it is definitely 10 a.m. in the game. Spring at Animal Crossing is hard. It is really dark, probably just because it rains like 90% of the time on the island, and when it's not raining, there's like a 50% chance that there will be storm clouds looming in the distance. So what we are doing here is building a cliff to put the cave on. I don't know, it kind of made sense for the mine to be taller, and the build absolutely needed to have some sort of like visual height elements because it was really, really flat. So I add cliffs, and then we do this sort of like cliff trick with the water twice, so we can have trees on the edges of cliffs. The only sort of problem with this being sort of a raised section of the island is that I only have one level of cliffs that I can put things on, which is a thing that I totally forgot. And so we're going to try and put cliffs up higher just to sort of fill in the space in the back, but that's not allowed. Like on the like ground floor, or I guess main level, I feel like I did a really good job putting the trees so it looks like it's kind of foresty, but when you get up on cliffs, and then there are edges, and edges are hard. So we just kind of do the best that we can do, which I mean isn't great. Maybe it should just be a larger cliff, but there's another build that has to go behind it, so I didn't want it to be a huge cliff. And this is me trying to successfully place the tree close enough that it doesn't look like it's super far away. The answer I will discover is to just put it closer to the clothesline. Furniture items don't count when it comes to trees needing like a singular square all the way around them that's entirely free of things. It only has to be free of like cliffs and houses and stuff, which has in fact improved our experience greatly. And now we're just placing the stuff that we didn't place yesterday, like the lantern, because I had ordered it and it didn't come in until today. And then the apple, which I don't know about the apple placement, but also trying to place apples in this game is just kind of like a guess. I wish I could just pick it up and put it places, or even just push it. I just wish I could push it into where I want it to be, but that is apparently not an option. I suppose the lone apple tree doesn't really make sense contextually within the fairy tale, but also apples are like the symbol of Snow White, so I thought on the fairy tale island adding apples sort of made it more clear what we were going for. I mean, the 6 gnomes up front probably also would have done that. I just kind of like it, and it gives it a little bit of a pop of color, so I'm hoping it won't be too out of place, given that it's the only sort of hardwood-shaped tree that we're going to have in the forest, because I don't really like the hardwood trees. I don't know, I think it's just because they're like 3 circles of leaves. The only good thing about them is they change color. So we put them in the orchard, and also probably if we do any sort of more manicured gardens on the castle side of the island, we'll use the hardwood trees. So now what we're doing is just trying to add like depth and height and sort of behind the cave because it looks really weird. I did cut out me trying to add the whole 3rd layer, and it's also too short to be seen behind the cave without anything on top of it, so we just cut it out entirely and add some trees back there. I feel like maybe I should have had more vines and stuff. This has only just occurred to me now though, and I think after we're sort of done, we're gonna go back around the island and sort of make sure everything is cohesive and change things if we have to, or maybe we'll just be better at building by then and we'll change things to make them better. And the next little bit of this video is just kind of me adding trees, but they're filler trees and they sort of sit in important spots, so I thought leaving it in would be helpful. I know if I were watching the video, I wanted to like rebuild it or whatever, it would be helpful for me. And I mean, like, I don't imagine anyone's just gonna build this like plot for plot, but one of the things that I find really helpful when I'm trying to figure out how things work or why they work is to rebuild builds other people have done and sort of look at them that way. I don't know, it's helpful for me. So the tree we're going for here is going to be the sort of most important yet least successful tree because it's too short, but also I didn't want the cliff to be bigger, so it's just like a tree top, which is not great, but it is what we have. And now I'm just adding a couple saplings that will grow into trees. And that concludes this segment of our program. So if you like the build, or you just had a good time hanging out with me, you could hit that like button and leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the build, the fairy tale, literally anything at all. And of course, if you think you might like to do this again sometime, you could hit that subscribe button. But I will see y'all on Monday. Goodbye!